to the nearness of a friend. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Jesus. How lovely, how sweet is the name. Oh, wonderful, merciful, miracle Jesus. How worthy, how precious, how awesome the name. Take me back to all things new. Holy passion and pursuit. Once again, I'm making room. Anything to get to you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Jesus. How lovely, how sweet is the name. Oh, wonderful, merciful, miracle Jesus. How worthy, how precious, how awesome. Oh, there's just something about the name. It's like nothing I can explain. There's just
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Rancho Church. Hope everybody is awake and warm inside. It is so cold in Southern California right now. It's winter finally. My name is Alex. I'm up here with Jenna, Evan, and Scott, and this is the part of the service where we kind of let you know what we got planned today, especially if it's your first time. You never know what to expect when you come to a church, so we're going to kind of guide you through it. So what we do here at Rancho is we start off with a couple songs, and then we do something called Wagar, What's Going On at Rancho. I host that, and then we get into our message with Pastor Scott over here. So today on Wagar, we are launching our winter groups, and so you'll hear all about that, but I thought you'd give us a little preview, because you host a group, right?
Yeah, my family hosts a group. We have a group for young families that we meet on Wednesdays, and it's so much fun. We have it formatted to where it's like we're all together, and then sometimes it's like the dads and the kids are together and the moms get a night out, and then vice versa, and then sometimes it's just madness with all of the young families, and it's so much fun getting to go through life with people and get to carry each other's burdens and pray and get to know one another in a more intimate setting than Sundays really provide, which has been fantastic. It's been so much fun.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Scott, what do we got on deck this morning?
Yeah, we are week 3 of life plans, so we are encouraging you to take some notes. You know, if we're doing a life plan, you might as well write some things down. So if you have your, your phone, your iPad, we do have actual pen and paper back there. It's really healthy to write some things down and maybe consider making some tweaks in this, 2025 year. And then we are starting out with some music. This is a great little worship set. I love it.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a lot to do with it, so I'm sure you love it.
Well,
No,
I claim all the credit for all the good stuff and blame all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just leadership 101.
No, the thing that I'm most excited about actually in this worship set is the third song, the last song before we go
cool.
to Wagar. It's just one of those beautiful songs, and it's something that I relate to heavily because every lyric of this song I can relate to. And it's one of those just beginning a conversation with Jesus just from what you see around you and your family.
So you're saying the first two songs are just fillers
They're
to
fine.
get to the third?
Hang out for them.
Not quite.
That's the first two songs are the drive to the beach. The
Oh,
third
there you
song
go.
is
I
the
like
beach.
that. Very
you know?
good.
It's
All
good.
right, well, let's all stand and get going.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
The battle belongs to you. And if you are for me, who can be against me? For Jesus, there's nothing impossible for you. We are have a hope found in your name. I have a strength found in your grace. Your faithfulness, my fortress, over and over. Make way through the water, walk me through the fire. Do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. Shut the mouths of lions, bring dry bones to life. Do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. I believe in you, God. I believe in you, yeah. Release your love inside of me. Unleash your power for all to see. Spirit, come and fall on earth over and over. Make way through the water, walk me through the fire. Do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. Shut the mouths of lions, bring dry bones to life. Do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. The God of exceedingly, God of abundantly, more than we ask or think. Lord, you will never fail. Your name is powerful, your words unstoppable. All things are possible in you. Come on, sing that out. God of exceedingly, God of abundantly, more than we ask or think. Lord, you will never fail. Your name is powerful, your words unstoppable. All things are possible in you. Make way through the water, walk me through the fire. Do what you are famous for, what you are famous for. Shut the mouths of lions, bring down those to life. Do what you are famous for, what you are famous for.
Amen, amen. In Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30, it says this: Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. You know, as we're going through this Life Plan series, me and my wife Jessica, we were talking, and she said something. She says a lot of things that are very, very smart, and I do not. So it's cool. I need to listen to her. She said this thing. She said, it's so great to make a goal and to make a plan and to make a commitment and do your best to stick to it. But the more important, I think, what's more important in all of this is making this plan and sharing this plan with God. Having Jesus, inviting him to be the center of this plan. I have this goal, I have this thing that I want to do. Talk to Jesus about it. I want to talk to you about it. I want you to be a part of this, because you are the one that if I fall and if I make a mistake, if I fail at this, that you are the one that picks me back up and says, keep going. That's our God. So as we're going through this life plan and you're taking your notes, just make sure that you remember to write in and tell Jesus about it. Let's tell Jesus about this plan. Let's have this conversation with him. Because having him in the middle of what you're doing in each and every day is so important for us. There's this song that we're about to sing called Talking to Jesus. And it was just that journey of starting this conversation with Jesus. So I want to invite each and every one of you, all of us on stage here now, just to have a moment to talk to Jesus, to listen to the story and connect with our Savior.
Grandma used to pray out loud by her bed every night. To me it sounded like mumbling, like she was out of her mind. She said, boy, this kind of prayer is what saved my life. You ought to try it sometime. Now I know she was right. She was talking to Jesus. She was talking to Jesus. She'd been talking to Jesus for all of her life. Mama used to drag me to church Sunday mornings and Wednesday nights. Khaki pants and a polo shirt. Boy, I'd put up a fight. She said, son, don't one day you'll thank me for having God in your life. Yeah, I know she was right. Yeah, my mama was right, 'cause now I'm talking to Jesus. She got me talking to Jesus. Got me talking to Jesus. Yeah, my mama was right. 'Cause now I'm talking to Jesus. Yeah, I'm talking to Jesus. And I'll be talking to Jesus for the rest of my life. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Whoa. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Whoa. I've got 3 of my own now, trying to raise them up right. My oldest is 15, and I remember what that was like. Trying to deal with the drama, trying to figure out the questions in life. And I've been looking for a way to show him how to make it all right. Then he walked in my room. I was saying my prayers the other night. He said, I'll come back later. I can tell you got a lot on your mind. I said, it's not an interruption. You couldn't have picked a better time. 'Cause I was just talking to Jesus. Come over and give it a try. We started talking to Jesus. We started talking to Jesus. We started talking to Jesus. Oh, and now he's talking to Jesus. Thank God he's talking to Jesus. I hope he's talking to Jesus for the rest of his life. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Come on, church, just say, what a friend we have in Jesus. Oh, what a friend we have. What a friend we have. None more faithful, none more true. What a friend we have in Jesus. Whoa. There's no wrong way to do it. There's no bad time to start. It don't have to sound pretty. Just tell them what's on your heart.
'cause it's not a religion. No, it's more like a friendship. Just talk to your Father like you are his kid. Just start talking to Jesus. Just start talking to Jesus. You can talk to Jesus whenever you like. Just start talking to Jesus. Just start talking to Jesus. Just keep talking to Jesus for the rest of your life. Father God, we just thank you right now. We thank you that we have the opportunity to be able to speak to you. We thank you that we have the gift of being able to pass that down to generations. To be able to share this gift that we are connected with you, that you are our heavenly Father, that you love us, that you want to hear about the just minute parts of our day because you care about them, because you love us. We thank you for that truth. Help us to remember to continually speak to you each and every day. Thank you for the gift. In Jesus' name we pray. And everyone said, amen, amen. Come on, let's give the Lord some praise this morning. Thank you all so much for that time of worship. You guys may be seated.
All right, hey, good morning. This is Wagar. My name's Alex. I'm up here with Steve.
And I'm Steve, and that's what's going on at Rancho. So you're going to want to pay attention to what's happening today.
Hey, let's give it up for our worship team. What an incredible time of worship that was this morning. It's funny, but you don't know this, but I know this. At about, I don't know, what do you think, Scott? 8 o'clock in the morning? About none of that was going to happen this morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. So give it up to our production and our worship who always pull off incredible miracles every single Sunday. Yeah. And give us such a great time. So this is Wagar. What's going on at Rancho? If you are new this morning, if today is your first day here at Rancho, or maybe you're checking us out for the first time online, we just want to say welcome. We're so glad that you're here. You know, sometimes just getting to church can be tough.
Oh, yes.
You don't know what to expect. It's cold outside. Yep. It's Sunday.
Kids are kids.
It's football playoff season. There's all kinds of reasons.
There's not a game till like 12
days,
today, right? So you're good.
But you're here, so we're so glad that you're here with us and that you're making time for this on a Sunday morning. We would love the opportunity to welcome you in person and to just answer any questions you might have and maybe get you going on your journey here at Rancho. The easiest way to start that off is just send a quick text to our number, 951-379-3795. You can take a screenshot of that now if you want. Text us later. If you text us this morning, we'd love for you to take that text out to our Welcome Center where we can meet you and send you home with a little gift that we have. I usually have it right here, but I didn't do my job this morning.
Yeah, it's a great gift too. So yeah,
you could
also email us at info@rancho.tv. So if you have any questions, you're going to hear about groups and different things today. If you have any questions, you need us to be praying for you about anything, whatever, just use that email, info@rancho.tv, and we will get back to you and make sure we help you on your journey here at Rancho with us.
All right, are you ready to interact? Are you ready to interact with me on this one? Every Sunday, we love to say thank you and to really celebrate our generosity partners. So let's just give it up real quick to all of you.
Thank you so
all
much.
Of our generosity partners. The last few months here at Rancho have been incredible. Scott's going to talk about it a little bit more. We've been talking about it pretty much every Sunday. We have asked for and given tons of opportunities. And Rancho Church has just given and given and given. So thank you for that. It's because of your generosity that we are able to do everything that we do here. Turn the lights on, have a campus, minister to our community, reach out to the world, pull off special events. So thank you for that. And if you'd like to learn more about giving here at Rancho, all you got to do is go to rancho.tv/giving. You can give online there. You can set up an account. You can learn what happens when you give there. All that stuff is online there.
Yes.
So this Sunday, Steve, We've been waiting for this for a while.
Yeah.
It's our groups launch.
Groups are launching, and we do have groups that meet throughout the year. Men's groups, women's groups, Celebrate Recovery. But in February, we kind of launch Super Fantastic Wednesdays. We launch groups, and so we just want to start getting you prepared to get connected, because that's what the focus is to get connected, meet new people, grow in your faith journey. And so we have a lot of opportunities, and that's coming. You have this whole groups form.
It's called a groups menu,
That's
Steve.
it, the menu.
And hopefully you got one when you
Yes.
walked in. If you have one, you can pull it out anytime. And we're just going to kind of go through this real quick, just to kind of highlight some of the groups so that you are aware. You can start thinking about what kind of group would I want to join this season, right?
Right. So one of the big ones is I'm now leading the young adults group. So if you're a young adult from 18 to 20-ish in your or mid to late 20s, we're going to actually have something this Thursday at the Student Union where you're going to meet my wife and I. And if you're kind of new, come on out. You can meet me, hear our story. So that'll be this week. But then we also have a lot that goes on Wednesday nights. We have things for marriages. We have women's groups. We have just emotional health groups. We have more Bible study focused groups. And so Wednesday nights is a big launch.
We have a yoga group.
Huh?
We have a yoga group.
We have a yoga group.
That's
crazy.
crazy.
And she's awesome. And it is a definite meditative, focused on Christ time as well. And so it's really neat. And so Wednesday nights is a big time to just pay attention, take a look, and get connected. Yeah.
Also on Wednesday nights, we have our Super Fantastic Wednesdays for our littlest ones. And then we have our youth movement for middle school.
Middle school, yeah.
So Wednesdays are just kind of hopping here during this season.
You know, another one to highlight too, if your marriage just needs a boost, we have one of our greeters, Todd, leads a group for marriage enrichment and skills. Great opportunity to come as a couple and really just kind of spend a few weeks focusing on your marriage and growing in that. So that's one of my favorites.
And the last little highlight is for those of you who are online, we do have a couple virtual groups that we would love to invite you to get involved in. Yeah. We've had several conversations with people who go to church at Rancho Church, but don't live in the area or can't get out, and they would love another way to connect. So we have groups for you there.
Yeah.
Everybody can go to rancho.tv/groups. That's where all this information is.
And grab one of these flyers. All of our welcome people have them, so grab one of the menus and get involved and come join us. It's going to be a great semester.
I heard you and Chris are going to be outside answering questions.
We'll be out there. If you have questions, you can find Chris or myself, or we'll be out there, and we'll come in. Please let us know.
All right, you guys know how to do this. All right, you guys ready?
And that's what's going on at Rancho.
Thanks, Steve. Let's welcome up Scott.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. You know, we always say this in every season, but there's a lot going on here for sure, including our prom for people with special needs. That's a big deal. It's like a highlight of the year. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, so that is coming up at the end of February, and this place is just transformed into a magical place that is full of hundreds and hundreds of people dancing the night away, having the night of their lives. Parents are taken care of across the other side of the campus. Hundreds of volunteers are in here, and it all costs a little bit of money. We've been talking about that for months, and I'm sure you're kind of going, okay, are you still asking for money? Yes, we are, but we want to do it in a more fun way and something that's rewarding for you too. So outside today, right after service, we're having an auction, and there's cool items out there that you can bid on. All that profit will go towards this. You can also, if you're online, you can participate in it. You can scan a QR code. We're going to have it open for 3 weeks. I'll just tell you quickly about 3 items, then I'll get out of your hair. Number 1, there is a baby basket. So if you're a new parent, there's a basket full of all kinds of fun stuff for babies. If you are a barbecuer like me, there is a barbecue basket out there with all kinds of cool stuff. And then if you want to take your family maybe down to San Diego, go visit the Midway and maybe have an evening out there. There is tickets for that out there. So there's just some cool items out there that you can bid on.
Very good, and all of it is to do amazing things for these special needs kings and queens. Thank you, Alex, and your crew, and the Rancho World for putting on such great events. This one enchanted evening, a prom for people with special needs, is really like the heartbeat of Rancho. We go full out. I mean full out. This entire campus, not just this building, the entire campus, for these wonderful kings and queens, hundreds of them, and their caregivers and parents. There's a whole program there. Horse-drawn carriages. I mean, the superheroes come out. The real ones, not the costume ones, the actual real ones. And, I mean, it's just like all out. It does cost like $30,000 to $40,000 to put on this night. And it is the center of these kids' worlds for many of them every year. So thank you for your generosity on that. We appreciate that. I also want to give one little report about year-end giving. I want to do a better job kind of closing the loop on this stuff. We did ask for a generosity at the end of the year, and you stepped up. And I will tell you that right now, as a result, we have a brand new roof on this building. So thank you very, very much. just in time for it to never rain again in California, so that's really, really good. Our tech remodel is in the works. It's very complicated, step by step. And then, of course, funding our growing mission in 2025 is very important. And certainly a key to that is your regular recurring giving, which, of course, you can take care of at rancho.tv/giving. And maybe 2025 is a time for you to just kind of rework as it was in our own family life. Can we up our giving and really do more good in 2025 together? So thank you for that. For those of you who have your phones or iPads, we do encourage you to take some notes during this Life Plan series. We do have pen and paper right there in the tables over there if you want to go back and get those. One of the greatest gifts truly anybody has ever given me was a leather-bound parchment note book. I've had that for about 20 years. And just I'm kind of careful what I write in there because it's such a beautiful notebook. It's got like the whole latch, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And so when something really hits me, like I really want to do something in my life that's a next step, something a little more profound or powerful, I take that notebook out and write it down. And for me, there's just something about that, kind of tactile, practice of writing, whether it's digital or on paper, it really does matter. So we encourage you to take notes in whatever format you want during this Life Plan series. Because here we are at the beginning of a new year. It's the beginning of a new quarter century. I think that's kind of a deal. I don't know, it may not be to you. But we're at the beginning of a new quarter century, and it is an opportunity to kind of look at our life, reevaluate some things. For some of you, it might be just tiny little tweaks here and there. Hey, maybe we shore up this or do this. For others of you, it's like, hey, this might be an opportunity to make a giant change in life, some big life direction, a big life plan that might have, profound impact on the rest of your life. This could be that time. All of it kind of revolves around life planning. So for some of us, it's just kind of casual little tweaks. For others of us, it's like formal resolutions and promises to ourselves. Here are some formal resolutions made by kids across the country that might be inspiring for you. I want to eat more candy and tacos and ice skate. I want to eat more candy, tacos, and ice skate. I believe we have a slide. There we go. That's Harper, age 5. So that might be your resolution as well. I'm going to be a ladybug. I'm going to be a ladybug. This is not a smart person who said that, by the way. This 3-year-old. That was funny. Of course you're not going to be a ladybug. Anyway, all right. Pet every doggy I can. That's a nice New Year's resolution for an 8-year-old. I know, play video games, wait, no, do math. So this is a person who's, kind of understood, there's more important things I could do than video games. Let's see. I will drink milk daily and will not trouble my mother. That's pretty cool. 12-year-old, just drink milk daily and not trouble my mother. It's like, were you from the 19th century, not trouble my mother? Anyway, that was kind of cute. Get better spending habits. There's Katie, 13 years old. I kind of wonder as a 13-year-old how much income she's bringing in to be able to, reorder her spending habits, but that's kind of cool. Become an adult so I can eat candy and not brush my teeth. And as adults in this room, mostly adults in this room, we know that really is what adulting is all about, is being able to eat candy and not brush our teeth. So the secret is out, apparently, that's what it means. Get better at digital art, even if it's not good. I like that. I think that's kind of cute. It's like, I'm going to go for something that I'm interested in. May not be all that good, but I'm going to go for it. That's kind of cool from Nevaeh. Become a YouTube star. So this 7-year-old has just got dreams like you wouldn't believe. And then finally, my resolution last year was to not have any resolutions. So this one says, Ronan says, I am out. So, these are inspiring resolutions, promises to ourselves. I don't know, you can take some things from that. Just kind of cute. But whether you make hard resolutions and promises, or if you soften that up a little bit and say, okay, we're just going to kind of reevaluate some things, wherever you're at in life, this Life Plan series is going to be a biblical kind of a map-ish, more like a journey going forward. And so we're going to walk that together. I do want to recap last week just a bit because I think it's important to recraft the big picture, right? We sort of, downplayed the idea of a resolution, formal promises to ourselves. And let's broaden this and soften this to more of a journey metaphor. So we talked about a journey metaphor to a distant waterfall. We've heard about this beautiful distant waterfall. We can maybe hear this distant waterfall. This distant waterfall is a place of beauty and wonder, right? A place of rest And so this kind of journey to a beautiful place of wonder and rest and majesty is this journey that we're on together. It's this life plan. And so, asking ourselves the question, where are we going? And then as we make that journey towards this destination that we envision, this destination that we even write down, this place of majesty, beauty, and rest that we want our lives to head toward, we also realize that along the way there's many pathways. So we talked about these pathways. And in imagining that maybe life is not this predetermined, deterministic, God's will is this, this, and this, and every decision, are you in God's will or out of God's will? But it's more loose than that. It's more of a journey towards this magnificent destination, but along the way, we are living this adventure, and we go here and we go there, and there may not be right and wrong decisions all the time. I mean, sometimes it's obvious what's right and wrong, but, what school are we going to go to? What career path are we going to choose? Who are we going to date? What are some decisions that we make in our lives? When are we going to have kids? What job do I take? There's just all these options in front of us. And to just relax and rest and realize that God is alongside of us, and we're just walking this journey towards this magnificent waterfall, and let's enjoy that journey, right? And let's think about where we're going and why we're going there. So last week we asked us to define our waterfall and to write this down. On your phone, iPad, notebook, whatever, define your waterfall. Where are you going and why are you going there? And I just kind of shared with you last week that I imagined my waterfall, my destination, when it's all said and done, and I'm looking back at my life, surrounded by the love of family, on some property. I want to be healthy and active, looking back on life with satisfaction and gratitude. Hopefully few regrets, hopefully a lot of gratitude. That's my waterfall. Someone in this church astutely asked my wife, all of it behind my back, I wonder if that would have been his list 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. It's a good question, right? Here I am, I'm 55 years old. I was officially asked if I wanted the senior discount for the first time in my life last week at a golf course, which I took. But it felt a certain way, I'm going to be honest with you. But 10 years ago, would this have been my list? A lot of it, yes, would have, but there would have been one other thing on there 10 years ago, and I want to show it to you. 10 years ago, I would have said to lead a church of 6,000 meeting in 20 venue sites and plants. Because that's what we were doing here. I mean, we were all focused on that, and we were more than halfway there 10 years ago. I mean, we were rocking, we were rolling. We had 3 venues on site, and we had another site in Marietta, and we had 2 church plants, and we were moving as a church. Then election things got weird with the whole religious thing, then COVID hit and shutdowns, and it just got strange. And so this 10-year ago drive to, succeed and to grow and to expand, and all that is good, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Whether it's business or ministry, doesn't matter, for-profit, nonprofit. I mean, we're all doing, some good in this world, right? And we're making the world a little bit of a better place. And so that drive to achieve and that drive to succeed and that drive to grow, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But maybe as we walk further down, this complex pathway and we start to imagine, well, what does that waterfall look like? Does that waterfall look like achievement and production and growth and success? And the answer may be yes in a lot of ways. But is that what life is all about? And I think as you walk life's journey, we might get a little bit deeper, a little more, introspective, and to say maybe it's not about production and success and growth. Nothing wrong with that. Go for it. I mean, really, if you got a goal for that, go for it. Work hard. That's really not the waterfall. Really not the waterfall. So this week in our Life Plan series, we're going to stay a little bit big picture. We talked about the mission, define your waterfall. Now we're going to talk about the values as we go. And then next week we start getting into, kind of fine-tune planning, relationships and career and decisions, and it's all going to be fantastic. The whole journey is going to be fantastic. But today we're going to talk about the values as we make our decisions towards this waterfall that we've imagined. And I'm going to give you 3 values to consider, just to consider. I do believe they're biblical values, and we'll see that. You might adopt these 3 values and say, okay, yeah, as I'm making decisions in my life and as I'm going towards this waterfall that I've imagined and written down, this place of, beauty and rest and this magnificent place I want to go to kind of when it's all said and done, these are the values that drive my life. I'm going to give you 3. You might adopt all 3. You might chuck 1 or 2. You might add a couple. Just write it all down. First, this might sound strange in church, and I apologize in advance. No, I don't. No apologies. Enjoy the journey. As you live your life, enjoy the journey. As you walk this trail, this adventure of life, and there's all kinds of decisions to make along the way, through it all, just enjoy the journey. Now, the reason why that might sound strange in a church world is because, sometimes you go to church and it's about the commitment. It's about being hardcore. It's about obedience. It's about sacrifice. It's about service. It's about, kind of this, hey, almost the more it hurts, the more obedient you are. The more it hurts, the more you, kind of sacrifice or even kind of, suffer, the more God is honored. There is this kind of weird thing in the religious world that really is about, this hardcore journey of obeying God. And again, I just want to soften that. There's nothing wrong with obeying God, but I think the motivation that God has toward us is for us that we would enjoy this journey. I just love very first page of the Bible, the entire, metaphor of all of life is this Garden of Eden, right? Forget the, specifics of the story. Let's just get big picture. This beautiful metaphor is this garden. And it's a garden of enjoyment, right? That's the entire picture of the life that God envisions for us, is this place of beauty and a place of togetherness, and we're with one another, and family is united, and God is walking with us, and there's provision, right? And it's green and wonderful. I mean, that is the metaphor that God has for our life, and I think it is for us to enjoy this life. God wants us to enjoy the journey. Ecclesiastes 8:15. This is an elderly gentleman, King Solomon, one of the wealthiest people who have ever lived, a little bit disillusioned, maybe a little grumpy, but he's at the end of his life and he's just, giving these pearls of wisdom to us to take or to leave. Here's what he says. So I recommend having fun, because there is nothing better for people in this world than to eat, drink, and enjoy life. That way they will experience some happiness along with all the hard work God gives them under the sun. So it's this recognition that sometimes life is a little difficult, whether it's work or circumstances. And so King Solomon here, just giving wisdom in his elderly state of life here to the next generation, says, hey, along the way, enjoy the journey. Along the way, feel free to have fun. Along the way, eat, drink, be merry. I mean, just enjoy the journey. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a simplicity of that there. And I would define it this way. Just never stop being in awe of the wonder of being alive. The wonder of this life. I mean, I don't know if you're into science, physics, biology. I dabble in that stuff, and it trips me out. Every article I read about the incredible cosmos and the subatomic world and the quantum world and biology and biogenesis. It's just like this life is an absolute miracle. There's no other word to describe it. The fact that we are alive right here, right now, breathing this air, being here, being conscious beings is an absolute miracle and wonder. And sometimes, we just kind of grind out life and live every day, and it just kind of is repetitive, and we're doing our thing. Never stop being in awe of the fact that we are alive. And we get to live this life with amazing people. And yes, at times, life can get a little difficult, but just enjoy being alive, the miracle of life. I had a little breakthrough. This is several years ago. We're a motivated crew here. Church, school, rescue mission. We have some international NGOs we either launched or help launch. And we're motivated, right? We're not here sitting on our hands. It's like we think we've got some good work. We think the kingdom of heaven with Jesus at the center is bringing salvation to the world, making the world a better place. And so we're pretty motivated. And so, that motivation can be full of life. That motivation could be just full of energy. But sometimes it can start feeling a little like, are we working a little too hard here? Is this kind of becoming a grind? Are we just, putting goals out there and just working for the sake of success? And are we missing some of the deeper things here? And so I won't get into too much detail, but there was one relationship in particular that I had where it just felt like more, more, more. A voice I value tremendously even to this day, but it was just like more, more. Do more. We're growing, yeah, but it's not enough. And we're improving, yeah, but it's not enough. And it's just, at some point in this relationship, I just had to say, time out. And I said this phrase for the first time in my life, and I have said it since. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm not going to do it. So like if you're telling me, hey, more, put in more time, burn yourself out, produce more, right? And then burn out your teams. It's like, if we're not enjoying this, we're not going to do it. I'm telling you, it was so freeing just to say those words. If this isn't a pleasure, if we're not having fun, if this isn't bringing life to us or our teams or the people around us, we're just not going to do it. Because it's not worth it. It's not just worth burning yourself out. Whether it's in the, again, profit world, for-profit world, nonprofit world, whatever you're doing, in vocation, in life, in your business, as an employer or an employee, it's like if we're not having a good time, then we have to reevaluate whether this whole thing is worth doing in the first place. Now, I don't want to be misunderstood. And I even wrote these things down because I think these are so important. Finding true enjoyment in life is sometimes a heck of a lot of work. Because let's just, assume that a healthy family life brings joy to life. A healthy family life is not easy. A healthy family life does take work. A healthy family life does take effort. A healthy family life does take sacrifice. So enjoying life doesn't mean don't put in hard work at all. It just means that when you put in work, it's going to be work that pays off in stuff that really matters. Not just grinding for an extra dollar, or grinding to achieve some corporate goal, or grinding to achieve success or the praise of men. It's like, no, if we're going to put in some hard work, it's going to be for some cause or some goal that gets me to the waterfall, right? This magnificent place of rest and wonder. Also, I wrote this down. The right decision may not be the most fun decision. First of all, I don't like the phrase most fun. I want to say funnest. But if I said funnest, some of you people are going to get up all in my business. So I looked it up, and both are right. So you can just take that and eat it. But I did this to, submit to the world. But the right decision may not be the most fun decision. And by the way, most fun does break grammatical rules. Anyway, we could do an hour on this. Back when I was growing up as a high school kid, here in town, the region was called Rancho, California. It was country bumpkin. I mean, it was just no freeway. I think there was one stop sign. And so here were a bunch of kids with nothing to do, so we thought. We had plenty to do, but we thought we had nothing to do. So there's a group of kids that thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we started taking these M80 firecrackers, which is like a quarter stick of dynamite, and start putting them in mailboxes and lighting up mailboxes. That was the big fun, growing up in high school. There's this group that says, hey, let's have a good time and start blowing up mailboxes with M80 little, firecrackers. Some of you are like horrified. That was normal life in Rancho, California back in the day. And so they asked me, hey, man, tonight we're going to go M80 mailboxes. Doesn't that sound like fun? So, can you say, well, that's going to be enjoyable to go and create property destruction? Well, this group of teenagers that was destroying property, I guarantee had a ton of fun. Was it the right thing to do toward the waterfall? The answer is no, right? And so, let's be clear about this, that the right decision might not always be the most fun. So when we talk about enjoying the journey, it's not about just being lazy and chill and kick back and, no, sometimes it's hard work to enjoy the journey, putting that effort towards the things that really build enjoyment in life. And then it's really just not about having fun if it's not clearly the right and helpful decision. So life should not be a grind. It should not be stressful. It should not be about performance and production. So if you are not enjoying your life, and I really mean this, if you're not enjoying your life, big picture, it's time to make a new life plan. There are some things you need to stop doing that are sucking the life out of you, whatever that is. There are some things you need to start doing that might even be some hard work to get to a place where you can say, I am enjoying this miracle of a life. So the first value is enjoy the journey. The second one is love your family well. Love your family well. As you walk this journey, with every decision, with every fork in this road of this trail, make decisions to love your family well. I love Psalm 133:1. How wonderful and pleasant it is when families live together in harmony. Now, this is written in Hebrew. That word family is ak, like awkward, ak. And that word ak can mean, brothers. It could mean friends. It could mean family and relatives. So it's just this very big word. So we can broaden this and to say how wonderful and pleasant it is when family and friends live together, or family or people who are like our family live together in harmony. But it really is about, first and foremost, this family and loving our family well. And I'm talking about your marriage. I'm talking about your parents. I'm talking about your siblings and your kids and your grandkids. That family, which could extend to people who maybe they're not relatives, but you treat them like family. That's the broader use of this word. It is wonderful. It is pleasant when families live together in harmony. And no one will argue with this passage. This is like everybody nods their head. Yes, it is wonderful, and yes, it is pleasant, and yes, it's not easy sometimes to live in harmony as a family. This is one of those categories of, to enjoy life, we do need to live in harmony with our family, but that could be an awful lot of work. But it's good work, and it's worth it to put in the work. I've been in vocational ministry for 35 years. Vocational ministry for 35 years, and one of the great privileges I have is to walk with people into their later years of life and even into their last days and moments of life, and then to walk with their families and celebrate that life in a memorial service and beyond. I have done hundreds of memorial services. I have never once, nor have I ever heard someone celebrate how much money was in their bank account. Have you ever been to a funeral where, do you know they had $3.7 million in their 401k? Have you heard anything like that in any funeral? No, because when it's all said and done, that is not a thing. That is not something that really matters. Is $3.7 million in your 401k better than $0.7 million? No, sure. And is it better than $0.07 million? Yes, okay, fine. It's not unimportant, but I'm telling you, when it comes to what's really important in this journey and what gets us to that magnificent waterfall is loving our family well. Almost the only thing you celebrate when you lay somebody into the arms of the Lord and celebrate their life is their family. Almost the only people that are up here are family members or friends who are like family members. And what are they celebrating? They're celebrating their character. They're celebrating their relationships. They're celebrating their connection. They're celebrating how they served one another and fun stories and the things they got to do together. That is what matters when it is said and done, is loving your family well. Now, we're going to do a whole week on this in about 3, maybe 4 weeks. But I'm just going to give you a little primer. As you write some things down about loving your family well, this is the value system, right? I'm going to enjoy the journey, and I'm going to love my family well every step along the way. How can I make value-based decisions that love my family well? It can start right here, right now, today, with some simple life plan changes that could include, just a suggestion, things like a daily meal. Families can get out of a habit, real quick, of just a simple meal together, and there is nothing quite like just sharing a meal together. If you can, it's a little easier now to share a meal together because we don't have TikTok. So it's like, I'm doing a little, seminar or teaching coming up called Just Look Up. because it's like, oh, what? There's human beings around me, right? It's like, just look up. And when you're at a meal, not to be old-fashioned and curmudgeon-y, but it's like when you have a meal together, put your phones down. They could be in the table so you feel like, okay, still have a life. But just put it face down, right? Turn off all the notifications, whatever, and just have a meal together. If you can, every day, but that may not be realistic for most families. But as much as you can, get a daily meal. That's a life plan thing that I'm telling you will radically change your world. Daily meal. And then just go, from there. Daily meal, weekly hangout, just one night a week. That's just a hangout. And it could just be, you and your spouse if you're an empty nester. It could be, maybe you and your kids as they get older. I understand it gets more difficult. I've got 3 out of the house and grown and 1 17-year-old, so I get that this isn't easy. But a daily meal, if you can, or as often as you can, a weekly hangout. Just find some time. We're going to play a game. We're going to sit at a fire pit. I've talked about we happen to buy a house with a spa, jacuzzi thing, and so we're just in there a couple times a week, just looking at each other and talking to each other. Daily meal, weekly hangout, monthly outing, just something, you're going out of town, just some outing. For us, we just love going to see a sunset. Just simple. We're just going to get in the car together. We're going to, go to a beach. We got 3 beaches we like going to. Just pick one. That's the beauty of Southern California is we're an hour away from every amazing thing you can imagine. Just get out of the house once a month. Get out of the house. Go see something kind of cool. And then a quarterly special weekend, if you, whatever you can afford, right? An overnight marriage thing or a little tiny mini vacation or just an extended day. We're going to spend all day together. It doesn't have to cost anything. Daily meal, weekly hangout, monthly outing, quarterly special weekend, and then an annual vacation. It doesn't have to be expensive, but this is just the time together prioritizing family life, loving your family well. And some of you might be asking, rightfully so, what if we don't like each other? Perfectly legitimate question because there are some families that are in some trouble. And you're like, okay, well, this sounds blissful. Daily meal, weekly hangout, monthly outing, quarterly special weekend, annual vacation. It's kind of something we can get our heads around. But what if we don't like each other? If you don't like each other, all this stuff's going to not go well. If you don't like each other, your life plan becomes laser focused. Your life plan becomes, I'm going to prioritize my family and love my family well, and we need to reconcile. We need to make apologies. We need to ask for forgiveness. We need help. We need help from a trusted friend, help from a pastor around here, help from a therapist. And our life plan right now to love our family well is we got some healing to do. And that's what we're going to start doing. Enjoy the journey, love your family well, and finally, this might sound cliche, but hang with me. Leave the world a little better than you found it. Is that a cliche? It's cliche. We hear it all the time. Leave the world a little better than you found it. But I love Ecclesiastes 5:16, which says this, so simple. There is a very serious problem. I just love the plain language about this. People leave this world no better off than when they came. So this might be cliche, but this is just right out of Ecclesiastes. Again, King Solomon, end of his life, just giving pearls of wisdom. He says, in my view, I see a lot of people living their life that do not leave the world better than they found it. He says that's a big problem. And I agree. And that problem leads to an attitude problem. Ecclesiastes 5:17, the very next verse, throughout their lives, they live under a cloud, frustrated, discouraged, and angry. There's just a bad attitude. Now, I don't know what comes first. I don't know what's the chicken, what's the egg, but it's like, does the bad attitude result in not making the world a better place? Or the fact that you're not committed to making the world a better place results in a bad attitude? I don't know, I don't care, but it's this cycle, right? That I may be too focused on myself, and because I'm too focused on myself, I'm complaining about the world that's not treating me right. I'm complaining about people that aren't treating me right. I'm complaining about the problems of this world or politics or whatever that's not sitting right with me. There's an attitude problem that results in us not making the world a better place, or we're not making the world a better place, and so we have an attitude problem. Whatever the deal is, it's both. And we're not even talking about like massive sea change where it's like, well, make the world a better place means you have to invent something or solve some big problem or or finally figure out the equation that explains the entire universe. It's like we don't have to do anything huge to leave the world better than we found it. We can simplify this into a detailed life plan that asks some questions about our family. Are we leaving our family better than we found it? I know I was born into a family. It has some good things we're celebrating, but some really terrible things that needed to be called out, identified, and changed. So I know I've dedicated much of my family life to make sure we're not repeating the mistakes of the past. And so my kids will not be given the mistakes of the past. My kids will be given new mistakes that I've given them. And then their job is to make sure they don't pass those mistakes on to their kids. You know what I mean? We're just all kind of making the world a little better in our family with each passing generation. Same thing in your career field. And we'll have a whole week on this as well. In your vocation, you work, or if you're retired, worked in a very important field. I don't care what it is. You work in a field that has a demand. The world is demanding your product. The world is demanding your service. And your field, unless you are a scammer telemarketer, in which case, we have some church discipline. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But you are in a field that is contributing something positive to this world. Have you left your field, your vocational field, better than you found it? Whatever that vocational field is, have you left it better than you found it? How about your community of friends? Are your friendships, are their lives a little better because you're in their lives? Is your community, this city, right, this church, a little bit better because you're here and because you're contributing a little bit as you can? And if we are dedicated to making this world a little better than we found it, I'm telling you the deep satisfaction of that is pretty profound. But there's a lot of work to be done. I'll just close in one story here. Holiday travel brings out the worst in everybody. And we, did the whole Texas thing, and we're traveling during the worst of the holiday seasons. And when I'm driving up to an airport, I get this kind of anxiety that starts to rise. And it's not just because it's a mess, but it's kind of like why it's a mess and how people make the mess worse. Here's just a couple of examples. You drive into the airport, there's like a 1 to 2 mile backup because everybody wants to get right to the front to drop off their people. They don't want to drive, 200 feet further up so more cars can get through, right? And yes, you might have to walk 200 feet that way. It'll take you 30 seconds. But no, I don't want to walk the extra 30 seconds because I got to drop off my people right here in front of that thing. And who cares that having to drop people off right to the front is going to create a 2 mile backup when it doesn't have to, because in front of you is a whole open sea that you just don't want to park in, right? It's like, I need to be right here, right now. My people, me, I have the right to be right here. I am not even thinking about the 2 mile backup. And then you get out of the car. This is a little old man ranting. And, you got the suitcases, and everybody's like, telling their final stories to each other. They're hugging 150 times. And it's like, you were just in a 20-minute backup, and now you're going to take 4 minutes to say your goodbyes. You could have hugged each other 45 times in that car when you were waiting, but no, you're going to hug each other right now for a half an hour. And then all those suitcases are going to go right on the sidewalk. Last little rant. They're going to go right on the sidewalk, and we're just going to hang out on the sidewalk. I noticed a family, as we were coming back from Austin, their entire suitcases were in a 3-foot wide sidewalk that was the only way anybody could pass. And they're right there with their suitcases, just chatting like there's no one else in the world, and everybody else was having to walk on the street to get by them. All they had to do was move their suitcases 3 feet that way. But you know what? It never crossed their minds. Never crossed their minds. And I think if we would be honest, that's us. In some way, that is us. Where are we not paying attention to the fact that there are 8.2 billion people in this world? And maybe we can make their lives just a little better today. So maybe getting out of that car at the airport is like, hey, we've said our goodbyes, and just say to each other, hey, there's a lot of people back there, and we've said our goodbyes, hugs and kisses. Let's get just right out so we can go and let these people go. And let's not put our suitcases right in the sidewalk so people have to walk around us. There's just people all over the place, and they're busy and they're frantic. And let's not walk super slow on a sidewalk doing this. When people are trying to get to where they go, there's people that are rushing. I'm going to get out of the way here, right? There's people all around us. I'm a part of a community of 8,200,000,000 beautiful lives, right? I'm a part of that community, and I want to make their lives a little bit better. And you could write that down in your life plan. How can I just notice? It starts with just noticing. There are 8.2 billion other lives. Every single one of those lives matters just as much as mine. That'll impact how we drive, how we park, how we walk through doors, how we stand in lines. It'll impact what we say to each other. It'll impact how we notice each other. It'll impact how we go, oh, hey, you first, because you clearly, let me help you get to where you want to go, right? To be able to say when somebody else is in a hurry, you can step right in front of me because I'm in no hurry and I don't need to win this. This isn't a game, right? Like, you got a lot going on. You know, you mother with 3 kids traveling on your own. How about the entire airport helps that mother with their 3 kids get to the front and get where they need to go? I mean, isn't that kind of the world I think Jesus envisioned? Let's make this world a little bit of a better place. Enjoy the journey, love your family well, leave the world a little better than you found it. We're going to close in a song. Evan came up with a song by Sir Alan Jackson, right? And Alan Jackson's like one of your best friends, right, Evan?
Alan Jackson's sister was the principal of my elementary school.
That makes you pretty much famous.
We're cousins, apparently, I think. I think that's what that means. I have to look it up. But
so you knew what we were talking about today, and this song just kind of popped into your brain.
Yeah, I mean, we always grew up living or listening to living with Alan Jackson.
Yes,
apparently. Because
yes.
we're family. No, we always listened to Alan Jackson, and of course, country music was a big part of how I grew up. But this is one of those songs that literally is, hey, I've gotten to a specific place where I enjoy life so much, and I've looked back on all the things and seen what's truly important and what the things maybe I chased that didn't matter. But I know that the older I get, the more I realize how beautiful life is and how beautiful it can still become.
Well, just sit and enjoy this song. It just communicates the message perfectly.
The older I get, the more I think you only get a minute. Better live while you're in it, 'cause it's gone in a blink. And the older I get, the truer it is. It's the people you love, not the money and stuff that makes you rich. And if they found a fountain of youth, I wouldn't drink a drop, and that's the truth. Funny how it feels, I'm just getting to my best years yet. The older I get, the fewer friends I have. But you don't need a lot when the ones that you got have always got your back. And the older I get, the better I am. And knowing when to give and when to just not give a damn. And if they found a fountain of youth, I wouldn't drink a drop, and that's the truth. Funny how it feels, I'm just getting to my best years yet. The older I get. don't know why. I guess that I got more to say. And the older I get, the more thankful I feel for the life I've had and all the life I'm living still.
Thank you, Evan and the team. And what a great way to kind of close out, just that reflective time to say, hey, listen, the older I get, the more kind of, introspective we get and the more clarifying it becomes what's really important in life. So it's a great journey to experience with you all as we walk this together.
Funny enough, I'm reading a book.
Yes.
It's called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It.
All right, that's kind of cool.
Those words are so true. It's talking about, like, look around your life.
Yeah.
Find the things that are good in it. And remind yourself daily, like, this is your life. You're living it every day.
That's cool.
Good stuff today.
Thank you very much. What's going on out there, Alex?
So I want to remind you, on your way out, check out the auction if you can, if you'd like to support the prom. It's such an amazing event, and it's such a worthwhile investment. Also, I missed this in Wagar, so if you're new this morning, go out and grab one of these. We'd love to send it home to you with you.
Yes. If you need prayer for any reason, our prayer team is over there as always. If I have not met you yet, you're fairly new to Rancho, I'm going to be right over there hanging out. Would love to say hi. God bless you as you go. Look forward to seeing you next week and invite somebody. It's going to be great.
From the moment we first met, God, you meet me where I am. You love to fill the empty